I'm Lisa and welcome to my channel. I'm very excited today as I get to announce that I have been given the opportunity to design for Simple Stories. I'm on the Simple Stories 2017 creative team. I'm really excited. I've loved Simple Stories for many years and been following them with their collections each year, and so I was just absolutely thrilled when I received the email. Congratulations to everyone else that made the team too. I can't wait to start this new year. So I thought, as I get to make my announcement today, I would do a Simple Stories scrapbooking page. I've got some bits and pieces left over from a mini book that I recently made, which I will link up below, and so I thought I'd use some more of the odds and ends left over from the mini book that I made. I'm using the Domestic Bliss range, which is a really nice range. It's typical of me, very colourful. I love all the bright colours, so that's the kind of collection that I choose, that I go for. So I thought I would do a typical Lisa layout today. Now I've got some bits and pieces together and laid in front of me. I've printed off my photos and I am just going to jump in straight away. I haven't actually cut anything down. This is just left over from the mini book, so it's all ready for me to stick in. I have found, I just started this YouTube channel a few months ago, and I have found that my scrapbooking process has really needed to change whilst making videos. I used to, although I'd make a layout quite quickly, I would kind of do it over a process of time, and I might actually leave some things out and for a day move things around, come back, and so although it wouldn't take me very long, I would actually just play here and there. I don't have huge amounts of time, so I guess I just grab time as and when I can. Now I've got this piece of pattern paper here with the hearts on. I want to tone it down slightly, so I've got this piece of vellum. Again, this is just a scrap from my scrap tray, and I'm trimming that down just to take that edge off the brightness slightly. Otherwise sometimes it can be a bit busy, I find, with my photographs. So I'm just going to pop that over the top like that. Whoops, that didn't go down so well, did it? Let's try again. There we go. And so I'm finding now that in order to do the videos and still be able to move things around, I'm kind of playing a little bit beforehand, and then I'm doing the moving around and then shooting the video, if that makes sense. So I've kind of, as you saw before, I've moved things around. I am going to be popping these up there. I'm going to use some sticky foam pads. Now I'm kind of taking a spin on this Domestic Bliss collection here, and basically this isn't really Domestic Bliss that I'm scrapbooking. It's more the opposite of Domestic Bliss. I class myself as a realist when it comes to scrapbooking. I think a lot of projects that you see online are the perfect family, the perfect children, the perfect life, and I'm sure life is like that maybe for some, but for the majority of us, it has its roller coaster times. It definitely has swings and roundabouts, and I've always believed in scrapbooking the good and the not so good, shall we put it. But I think often it's the not so good that make you appreciate the good, so I don't think it's necessarily always a bad thing. I have what I would class a difficult child. Louis is challenging, to say the very least. It's great outside of the house, fantastic teenager, or fantastic child he's been, but he's a monkey at home. It's not like he's really bad, but he's hard work, he's challenging, and I do believe in scrapbooking the good and the bad. We've got layouts of him at the age of 7 or 8 having time out at the top of a hill, or goodness knows in the garden, or sat on the naughty step, and at the age of 15 we're still having similar struggles. So I am just scrapbooking a very basic layout today. Let's move those photos the other way around, just about the usual daily struggles. So no fantastic photos. It's often, I find, at the age of 15 now, it's a bit more tricky to take those really lovely photos that you took when they were younger. They don't want to pose anymore. So I've just got a couple of photos. I've printed them off as 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. I've edited them slightly because they're just taken on my phone, just quick snapshots. This was his 15th birthday a few weeks ago, and I've just added the white frame. I quite like the contrast with the white frame against the colour. I've got this here from the collection. It's one of the 12 by 12 sheets cut down, and I'm actually going to use this as my title, so that's what I'm doing. So although I'm going to move these up slightly actually, although I believe the collection is more the struggle and is more to do with within the house, I'm actually aiming it at kids, to be honest. Now I'm going to cut this down here. This is one of the strips. I've got sticky scissors. This is one of the strips along the bottom of the paper. It's actually got the company details here and the name of the collection. I do quite like this. I quite like using them. Simple stories. I've often used these strips on my layouts because they are a simple story and it is every day. I'm going to keep the collection on there, the Domestic Bliss. I think it's quite apt for this, and the I Can't Adult is absolutely perfect as well, so I'm going to move those on there. I'm going to cut this down so that I've got the letters cut out as my title. But I like looking back on the not so perfect times in my scrapbooks, because they're life, they're part of my kids growing up, and we do look back. Funnily enough, just this afternoon we've been sat as a family watching some old family videos of the kids, and there's Louis, the usual messing around, but it's funny. He was 5, and you know, we're all sat laughing, and it's everyday life, it's family life, it's the way things are, and I'm glad that I record those moments as well. I think it's important, I really do, and I want to remember everything, not just those cheesy posed family moments. So no, I'm all for scrapbooking the everyday real life. I class myself as somebody that documents our lives, so I believe that it should all be recorded, warts and all, as they say. So I'm just cutting this out now. And oh, and by the way, again, going back to the documenting every day, if it's something that you're not comfortable with documenting, and something what I've sometimes done is actually used hidden journaling. So I might pop an envelope or tuck, I'd just stick the sides down and tuck in a little handwritten note or something like that. So it doesn't have to be a layout where you're just completely criticizing your child. I don't mean by that at all. And I always write things nicely. I don't write, Louis, you've been an absolutely awful child today. I would never write that. But I, like I say, do believe in documenting most of what's going on. So that's that. Right, so the letters are cut out, and I think I'm going to pop them underneath. I haven't quite decided yet how I'm doing that. And that's going to go under there. I think actually I might also, that I've got the journaling to go as well. So let's pop that here, I think, and then yes, that's what I'm going to do. I always use repositional double-sided tape, which does make it easier because you can move things around a little bit, which I often find very beneficial. I'm going to start my title over to the side a little bit, and I'm going to stick it at an angle slightly overlapping. So that's my title, and I am going to pop this strip down here like that, and I think I'm going to trim this down slightly and just pop this over the top like that. I think I'm going to add a couple of staples to that. I love my long reach stapler, it gets a lot of use. So let's make a feature out of that join rather than try to hide it. Oh, I've got pink staples, that's a nice surprise. Now I might actually, while I'm at it, do a couple at the top. Now I've given these phrases here a kind of double meaning. The wash, dry, fold, repeat is more not obviously meaning me doing laundry and repeating it, the same household chores every day. It's more me asking Louis to do the same things every day. So that's that. I have got my journaling here printed on this piece of scrap paper. I'm going to trim these down into strips. So I've got my little strips here, and now all I need to do is trim them down and stick them in place. So my little journal strips are nicely trimmed, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of PVA glue on the top. I printed off on white against the cream background of the heart pattern paper. It not only gives me a really nice contrast, but it matches again with the white behind, which I really like, and also the white borders of the photos. The journaling is basically just saying how we go through the same things every day, which is the wash, dry, fold, repeat. Asking, and the photos, although they weren't taken on purpose, they were just taken birthday snaps on his photo. It's very typical me asking or us asking him to come off his devices, and it takes several attempts. So there's the picture of him on his phone there, and also tidying up after himself, and there's his coat just thrown over the footstool, which is very typical of our Louis. So there you go. It's just a good job that he's extremely well behaved outside of the house. And as my parents always remind me, what would you prefer? And yes, I would definitely prefer a well child outside of the house. Now I'm just going to, I've got some of the paper here left. Again, you can tell it's a scrap. I really like the colours. I'm going to punch a few of these out, just randomly. And I'm going to stick these around the page. Just another way of adding a little bit of colour. I've got a smaller punch here as well. I am a big fan of using up scraps. I think it's really fun to do, and what some people would throw away. I think it's really interesting to see what you can actually get out of your scrap bits and pieces. So just again, using a bit of PVA glue, I am going to randomly stick these around, and then our small ones as well. Got a larger one here still. Let's pop that one down here. There we go. I think I'm going to grab my stapler again. Let's put a couple of staples through these, and then I've also got my messy mat out, which means I'm going to get messy as well. Let's do the bottom there. I quite like doing the staples, into crosses. And they're not meant to be perfect, so that's cool. And I am then going to just flick a little bit of mist. I find this a really fun way to add some colour. Move that up there. I'm not one for doing boy colours on boy pages. I'm quite happy to mix it up. Some of these mists are so old, but they're perfect for this. I've decided to keep this area here white. I don't like to cover up the whole of my papers. I like to have a little white space. I was going to do a blue, and I've actually got some blue there, but I think I'm going to choose a lighter shade. Some of my mists are so old, but they are really perfect for this kind of thing. It's a little bit darker than I planned. That should be fine. There, and that's my layout. So that's our everyday daily struggle. Now, it's really not the end of the world. I know a lot of people have a lot bigger struggles than that, but that's our family struggle. So there it is, just a family story, a simple story told by us, and I'm quite happy that that one's been documented to pop in the scrapbook. It's been a while since I've documented a page like this. So that is my page. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you remember to get your everyday stories down on paper too. It's always good to look back on. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Bye.